Hi guys, Matt Thomas here at Cedar Rock Studio Guitar Gallery in Indiana. I know it's been a little while, but we've got some really special guitars for you guys. This here is an Isaac Jang orchestra model, OM. Now this was actually a guitar that was spec'd out in 22, but was finished in 2023, but is in absolute mint condition. It is pretty astounding, especially considering it is ultra thin, what he calls ultra thin nitro, which you can tell when you hear this thing. I'm just admiring. We'll get into this together. Like I said, this is an OM, or orchestra model, and it features a master grade Italian spruce top on it that is just so incredibly even in grain width all the way across, and lots of very tight silking throughout. It is quite a joy to both look at and hear. Now, as you flip it around, have a look at this just dead straight and quartered Brazilian rosewood back and sides. And I think that it was just such a great choice at going with this figured koa binding all the way around the sides, the back, and in the back strip here, which technically is a floating back strip because it doesn't fully meet the heel and the tail. Now in between that is just a micro maple purfling with a little bit of black as well to help separate between the Brazilian and the koa. And as you start to spin it around, I want to take note of this modified Venetian cutaway. I've not quite seen someone do this type of application, but leave it to Isaac to come up with masterful and brilliant ideas. So you might be able to tell from this angle. It meets further up at the heel on the back side, but where it meets at the front side at the fretboard is even deeper. So somehow he bent this side at an angle and met it there. And you can see that by this extra piece that's right here filling the gap of the heel. But not just that. He went ahead and put a koa bevel cap right here on the cutaway. So you are not restricted whatsoever to get all the way to the end of this fretboard and even tickle the inside of the sound hole while you're playing if you wanted to. I mean, it is so incredibly accessible. I am so jealous that I don't have this on every guitar ever. This is the coolest thing. I should also mention that the way that he carves out this heel as well allows you to really get your thumb up in there and be quite comfortable at getting to these upper frets. Now, speaking of fretboard, this is a flitch cut matched Brazilian fretboard and Brazilian bridge. And also, as you get into the headstock, it's Brazilian and ebony for that beautiful kind of two-tone thing that Isaac does with his headstocks here. Now, it's also a Honduran mahogany neck that is 1 and 25/30 here at the nut. So it's a little wider, but it's a very, very shallow, even C. So even with it being wider, it's really easy to wrap your thumb. There's virtually no cheek on the side here, so it makes it really easy to get over it. But I like this kind of flatter C that's really even throughout the neck. It doesn't have extreme taper and get thicker, so your chord shapes feel really similar all the way up and down, and it gives you a nice foundation to plant your thumb on the back. Now, it is a 25.4 scale, so kind of standard Martin-ish, if you will. Some people call it 25.5, but it's so negligible. I can't tell the difference. If you can, message me and yell at me, please. Now it is also 2 1/4 down here at the saddle, so it's great for fingerstyle or flat picking. And I think this instrument can handle just about anything you throw at it. Now it does have a Brazilian back cap here with a kind of micro volute, and these Goto HAP tuners, the height adjustable post, which really allows you to dial in the amount of break angle across the nut. And they're just ultra smooth. And what I should also mention is these look like some custom buttons. They're kind of marbleized. They're black with what looks like maybe like a gold webbing or marbling throughout it. It's subtle, but it's there. And when you get up on it, you notice it. Another thing that I want to mention before we get into the tone of this thing is it is so incredibly light. I think this might be one of the lightest Jang builds I've ever felt. And it also shows in the explosiveness of the tone, because you don't have to hit hard. And it just projects with so much tone. I mean, I'm barely following through the strings. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't have incredible headroom, because it does. And for some reason, I don't know how he achieved it, but the deeper you dig in, the thicker the tone gets, rather than getting strident and a little brash. So those harmonics also kind of knock you out of your seat a little. Now, if you are real giddy about side dots like me, he went ahead and chose some real high vis mother of pearl dots that really jump out at you, helps making it easy to find harmonics, but also that's kind of your roadmap, or at least it is for me. I do so many different tunings. I do like to be able to see where I'm at in the weeds. Now, the icing on the cake here is this instrument looks so golden and inviting all the way around. I think the Brazilian with this, it's not a toned Italian top, but it does have a golden hue. Maybe that's because of the nitrocellulose. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Isaac. It could just be an aged Italian top. But along with this koa and the hue of this old Honduran mahogany, it just looks very regal. It is an instrument to be adorned, but even if I was blind, I would grab for this every single day. Because not only does it look great, it sounds great, it plays like a Ferrari. It is so well set up. And speaking of setup, he does a 20-inch radius on the saddle, and it's a compound radius on the fretboard, so 16 to 20. So it gives you a little extra room down here because of it being higher over on the perimeter strings, if you will. So it's less likely to buzz. I've got this down to C, and it's really low action, but I can't make it slap against those frets, which is really handy for those of you that like open tunings like I do. Now, if you've got any other further questions about this very ethereal Isaac Jang build, message Alan at cedarrockstudio.com, and thanks for listening.